Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I do unboxings here, mostly lifestyle subscription boxes, but also some stationery, books, beauty, jewelry, travel, home decor, and even a dash of Disney. So if you enjoy unboxings, I do hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell. And as always, if you're already subscribed, thanks again so much for being here and welcome back. Today I have a little bit of a different kind of box to share with you, and this was kindly sent to me for review. This is the Yokai box. So this is a Korean language learning subscription, which I think is just such a really cool concept. Now, as some of you may know, I am Korean, but I was adopted when I was a baby, so I don't actually have a huge connection to Korean culture. I don't speak the Korean language. I may have told this story once before, but I did try to go to Korean language classes when I was a freshman in college, but I was just so overwhelmed by the teaching style and also the fact that most of the people around me had grown up hearing Korean or were already pretty advanced in their knowledge, and they were just trying to learn a little bit more about grammar and actually writing in Korean, that I just felt out of my depth completely and I went back to my French. But I do think that language, especially as an adult, is very difficult to sort of pick up. We definitely are a little bit more open to learning languages when we are younger. I definitely suggest to anyone that I meet that if they want to learn languages to do it early on. I just thought it was so cool too that this box actually reached out to me and asked if I would be willing to review the box, and I did have to tell them again that even though I am Korean, I don't speak any Korean, so I don't know if I'm necessarily the target market. But that same weekend I actually met a beautiful young lady named Brooklyn, so shout out to Brooklyn, and she is actually learning various languages. She already speaks Spanish, she is studying Korean and Russian, which I was just so impressed by. I just think it's such a cool thing to be a polyglot as a child, as a teenager. And this is the kind of box that I think that someone could really appreciate. So let me just read a little bit about the description of this box. Study Yokai boxes aim to motivate women language learners to continue studying Korean. Language learning is so hard, so providing support, tips, tools, and a community is important each month. Our boxes are themed and centered around improving a certain study skill, so very cool. Each box contains 5 to 7 items, which include cute stationery, a study magazine with workbook pages, a study tracker, and some Korean goodies. We are Black-owned and women-owned, and we support small businesses. It is $39.99 per month, but if you use the code Noelle5, you can save $5. So I think this would be great if you are yourself learning Korean, or you just really appreciate the Korean culture, or if you know someone who is studying Korean language. So it's very niche, but I think this is something that we could do in every language, and I think that it would really encourage people to get a little creative in terms of how they learn those new languages. So inside, this is what it is looking like, and she does, it looks like, have a nice email newsletter that's got all kinds of other tips, as well as like a online support group kind of thing. So I'm seeing like a little note. It just says Yokai fam. I think that's what we call the subscribers. It says, welcome to the Study Yokai fam, snap, share, and study. So obviously like ways to connect with them on social media. And then I do have just a nice little like note here. It says, hi Noelle, I love your YouTube channel, and I love that you've given a platform for subbox owners. Thank you for reviewing my box. And here is a 24-karat gold mask to help when you're editing. And I don't know how to say her name exactly. I believe it's Tanyaja, but I could be pronouncing that wrong. There's going to be a lot of mispronunciation in this unboxing, so I apologize in advance, everyone. But we did get a nice crystal collagen gold powder eye mask. You guys know that I love these under eye masks, so I feel like this is like almost proof that she has watched my channel before. So thank you again so much for the opportunity to review this box, as well as this little extra bonus in here. So let's see what we've got. Now, you guys, my eye went immediately to the snack, so I love that. We got something from Lotta, and it's a choco pie, which just looks like delicious, but you know, I don't know how much that has to do with learning Korean, but it looks like it's gonna give me a little like good study break if I were to do that. Then this month's box, so this is the June box, is the Vocab box. I believe the theme for the next box is actually just celebrating all things Seoul. So I was actually born a little bit outside of Seoul, but like on my passport and everything, it says that my birthplace is Seoul, and I do need to learn a little bit more about Korean culture. So this is the Vocab box. It says, learn new ways to memorize and build your vocabulary. And then let's see, it doesn't, so then it just kind of opens up, but it's blank on the inside. And then on this other side, it does have a list of all of the items that are included in our little like study box. And then there is a QR code for their private Facebook study group. So I do think that's great. Again, you can like ask questions and it doesn't have to just be your like classmates, and whether or not you're actually going in person to a Korean language class or an online class, then you can kind of get some other perspectives and some extra practice with these other people. So let's see if I can find everything. Well, first of all, we've just got some like post-it notes, which who doesn't like a good pad of post-it notes? So that's awesome. Let's see if it says anything about this. This says sunshine sticky note. Use these sticky notes to decorate your room with new vocab. So that's why it makes sense, because that is a good way to learn vocab. Refer to our monthly study magazine for tips, right? So you can just put your sticky note on your mirror and then of course have the vocab word for mirror, etc., etc. You can give yourself little love notes around the house too. Then we have this really pretty little spiral notebook. So let me see if I can open this up. It is very, very shrink wrapped. So I'm going to see if I can open it without like destroying it, hopefully. We'll see if I can. So this is a vocabulary memo book. It says this book will allow you to store your newly learned vocabulary and help you with the memorization process. Each day practice recalling the definition of the words you learned the day before. So I've made a little progress. I'm almost there. So of course these are always nice to just almost like flashcards, but like they're already spiral bound. So I did finally get rid of that. So it's kind of got this like cool like sleeve to it with these like cranes on it. So very nice. So this is what it looks like. This is pretty like maroon color red. And then we just have, oh, neat. So it's actually printed for vocabulary learning. You can actually see it. So it does say the date and the page, and then it has the word and space for the meaning. And then on the other side, when you flip it, it says practice. So I guess you could like practice writing sentences or like talk about like situations when you would need those vocab words. So I was surprised. I thought it was just going to be a blank notebook, but it is definitely actually meant for learning vocabulary. So of course you could definitely use this if you were learning a different language. So very cool. Let's see. Then I have this note card. It says learning Korean may take time, mistakes, and hard work, but it is very possible, with a picture of the Korean flag. And then it has a study goal tracker, and it just tells you to list your goals for the month, and then like week 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then it does also have a little blank spot here where you can say what your reward is going to be. So maybe it's that choco pie, but maybe it's something a little bit fancier if you actually do everything on that checklist for the entire month. So let's see. It does say our choco pie is the bonus item. It says after a long day of learning and memorizing vocabulary, take a break and indulge in the lovely taste of choco pies. Choco pies are a Korean staple snack. I did not know that. Cool. So let's see. This is your collectible monthly study tracker. I guess these are collectible. It says collect these encouraging trackers every month and use them to track your studies and decorate your study area when you are done. Let's focus on completing our goals each week. Every week, tick off the goals you've completed and post them in the Facebook group. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So I guess if you like did this month to month, you could like collect all of them. I'm not sure if they all look the same or if they have different images on them. And then we do have a Korean face mask. Now, I guess I can count Korea as a country that I have visited just because I was born there, but I haven't honestly been back there since I was 4 months old and adopted. But this is kind of a cool face mask, and we are going to be wearing face masks for a little bit longer. And I think maybe we will still be wearing them like many years to come, especially when we are traveling. Now, this one is super duper soft, and it does have like some Korean writing on it. It does have that little yin yang right there. So it's very soft though, I have to say, in terms of like the many face masks that I've gotten in subscription boxes. It's been actually probably a couple months since I have, but I like this one. And I think this is like a dragon over here on this side. I'm not totally sure, but I have no idea what it actually says. But maybe some of you guys, if you speak any Korean or read any Korean, you could tell me what these characters say. So it says this is a Hangul face mask. It says wear this mask to show your determination to learn Korean. This will give you an excuse to go outside and maybe practice some Korean with a native speaker, because obviously if they see this, they might assume that you speak Korean, and then if they see me, they'll definitely assume that I speak Korean, and then when I say that I don't, they will be very confused probably. We got a cute little sticker. I don't know, but she's in like traditional Korean dress, and it's very, very cute. I'm not sure if it says what it is. It says this sticker created by yours truly is a cute way to remind yourself that you are studying Korean, that you can do this, and always keep hwaiting. I don't know how to say that, but I guess it's an encouragement sticker. Very, very cute. And then finally, we have our Yokai Times vocabulary box. So this is actually a pretty big little booklet. There's some contradiction for you guys. So it says study yokai on the back. And then here it is. It has our editor's note. It says this month focuses on building your vocabulary, using your environment, and putting the words you know into use. Vocabulary building is essential in language learning. Also, it is important to use said vocabulary and not just memorize it. Grab your learning materials. Let's start learning some new Korean words. So it actually tells you how to use your sticky notes, how to use sticky notes to learn vocab. There's actually like a little article about that. It says, and then there's a, let's see, what's else? It has example exercise. So it's showing you some of the objects that you could put your sticky notes on. There's a sticky notes home challenge where you gather your materials and your sticky notes and your pen, pick a room, look at the items you use or talk about often, determine if you know the Korean equivalent. If not, look it up on Naver or any online dictionary, write down the Korean word on the sticky note, and then use the sticky note, stick the sticky note on your wall, repeat the word aloud every time you walk past and see it. Do this until you feel like you have memorized the word. So great technique. And then there is also the Leitner flashcard system, which was created in the 1970s by German science journalist Sebastian Leitner. The Leitner system is a flashcard system centered around the idea of spaced repetition. It works on helping recall information through intervals. Integrating aspects of the system into your study routine is a surefire way to remember vocabulary. So this is kind of interesting. It kind of gives you a schedule, things you do every day, things you just do Tuesday and Thursday, and things that you do on Friday. Cool. Then it tells us a little bit about the Korean flag, so positive, negative, and what all of these symbols are for heaven, sky, water, earth, fire, purity, and peace is the white background. The flag was created in 1882 by Park Young-kyo. And in 1949, the flag was officially adopted. Cool. Then we also have some website resources, which is helpful. And then there's a little section that tells us about phone apps. Then we have a little like workbook section, putting it into practice. Use a word that you learned this week, the dictionary definition, write the word within context, synonyms, pronunciation, again, putting it into practice here. Where do they belong? So like, again, workbooks, sort the words to put them into the right categories. June study reflection. How was your studying journey this month? Did you complete your goals? What can you do to improve next month? And then there's some flashcards that you can cut out, and it is kind of like a nice card stock here, a little bit thicker, or thicker paper. It's not like super duper thick like an actual index card, but those are some flashcards, and there's probably flashcards, I'm gonna guess, in every booklet that they send you each month, so you can kind of eventually have like a nice deck of cards. So very, very cool. They're looking for writers, language learners, and artists because they need some like designs and stuff, but this is really neat. I could see this being a great treat for someone who is learning the language. And then finally, we do have a pen. Ooh, and this is like a kind of pen that I actually really like to use. So of course, this is to use in your workbook and on those sticky notes. But so this is a great box. Let's just make sure that we got everything. This is the Smooth Grip Black Pen. This pen will help make writing down vocabulary much easy with its smooth gripping design. Grab this pen and start learning Korean with more ease and comfort. So we got this, we got our sunshine sticky notes so we can get to sticking things around the house. We got our vocabulary memo book. This is probably the most like unique item in here because obviously those are just like your basic stationery items. You wouldn't necessarily know that those came from the Study Yokai box. We got the hinoël face mask. This is probably also like a little bit more unique. The collectible monthly study tracker, I don't think there's like a huge value on that, but certainly something useful, especially if you do get in the habit of using these items every single month. The monthly study magazine, so that's what it's considered, and did have some like good articles and techniques and little like workbook pages in it. The custom encouragement sticker, again, not like a super high value item, but kind of cute. And then finally the bonus choco pie, which you guys know that's like a favorite of mine just because it's a bonus choco pie, which, hey, I love snacks. So I feel like this is a great concept. I would love to see some more like unique and like actually Korean items in there. I guess we did get the choco pie, and we did get the face mask, and then we did get that like crane vocabulary notebook. But you let me know if you speak any other languages. I would love to hear, and what kind of tools and tips and tricks that you had and what you would love to see in a language learning subscription box. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you or anyone you know are learning Korean, definitely consider the Study Yokai box and use that code Noel5. I'll see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing.